Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of I Should Be Painting. Today we're going to talk about why I'm switching from 3D printers to laser cutters. I've been using 3D printers for a very long time. I purchased my first one back in 2015, and it was a Lulzbot. Over the years, I've used both regular 3D printers, which uses a filament, as well as SLA 3D printers in order to print models. And what I found is that 3D printers, while they are excellent and fun and fantastic and all of those things that you may have heard of, they are also quite finicky, difficult machines that haven't been giving me exactly the results that I want. Having a 3D printer of any kind is kind of like having another hobby on top of, let's say, doing videos or on top of your miniatures. But if you absolutely want to purchase a machine for manufacturing your own items inside of your house, I strongly recommend that you take a look at laser cutters. Laser cutters, unlike 3D printers, cut things out of sheets of wood or plastic or metal. Most of the ones that you can buy commercially for your house do not cut metal, they only cut wood and plastic, and they make things on a two-dimensional basis that you then assemble, unlike making something on a three-dimensional basis like a 3D printer. Not too long ago, Glowforge had a fantastic sale, and I purchased a laser cutter, which is something that I've wanted for a very long time. Now, depending on your budget, just like 3D printers, you can spend a couple of $100s or you can spend a couple of $1,000s. Typically, the Glowforge has been one of the more expensive products, which is why I hesitated to buy it until they had such a great sale. What I've found is that for my purposes of making terrain, the laser cutter has been tremendously easier than any of the 3D printers. My SLA printer, which makes fantastically detailed models, is very messy, it's very smelly, it costs a lot of money, it has a lot of problems, it has a lot of failed prints, and at the end of the day, I'm really not making as many models as I am buying. Games Workshop and other companies produce all of the models that I could possibly want. What I'm really interested in is making terrain, and so that leaves you with pretty much just one option, and that would be your traditional 3D printer using a coil of wire. When you purchase something and bring it into your house in order to make your own stuff, there is a barrier to entry. And that barrier to entry is your overall artistic knowledge and your ability to use the tools to make that thing work to get what you want. With 3D printers, essentially, you need to be a sculptor. Unless you are buying or downloading files from Thingiverse or from professional sculptors, making your own stuff from scratch is an extremely difficult process with a very, very hard learning curve. On top of that, I've had a huge amount of trouble with my 3D printers getting things to work. Now that I have a laser cutter, I have found it to be the complete opposite. Pretty much everything that I've made on the laser cutter has worked, and when it hasn't worked precisely, it's been very easy to fix. I've also been able to make my own terrain from scratch because thinking about building objects in a two-dimensional plane and then essentially putting together a box is way simpler than thinking about sculpting a, let's say, castle or something. Here's the key difference to me as to why I would recommend, if you're interested in building terrain, to get a laser cutter and not a 3D printer. I spent hundreds of hours learning how to use the 3D printer and never really getting a whole bunch of great results. On the contrary, I have spent tens of hours learning how to use the laser cutter, constantly getting good results. Every time I sit down to do a laser cutter project, I'm actually learning skills and I am making myself better at Illustrator and thinking and figuring out how to put things together as opposed to problem-solving difficulties with the equipment. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent at the 3D printer re-leveling the bed and cleaning it and wiping it off and ejecting the coil and putting in a new coil and calling customer support and changing a cooling fan, when all of that time for the laser cutter has been actually learning how to build things. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be building a bunch of stuff specifically for the new game sizes for Warhammer 40k, and I am going to be pushing the laser cutter to the limits in order to see if we can get some absolutely gorgeous terrain out of it to the level that we would expect of a 3D printer and not necessarily of what you expect when you buy laser cut terrain. So if you're not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. But right now, let's take a look at the 3 projects this week that have gotten me inspired. Here we are at the computer once more, and let's take a look at the 3 projects that have been inspiring me this week. Our first project is HeroesHorde.com. Heroes Horde is powered by EC3D Design, and you can get a whole bunch of STL files that are just fantastic for all of your 3D printing needs. I've been looking over these files, and a lot of them look super fun. They have everything from high fantasy to sci-fi, and their pricing is not that bad. It's really not. I mean, look at pretty good stuff. Next, yes, that's right. We're back here. We're back to him because he is so good. He's so good. He got the Indominus box set, and he did some painting for GW. Of course, we're talking about GarfyGram. Look. No, I don't want to look at the Necron. Look at this. I mean, the pictures that he takes are so beautiful. I mean, not only is his painting beautiful, but his photographs are beautiful, and his sets are beautiful. And with 9th edition coming out, GarfyGram, you're my hero. We are sticking with Instagram, and we are going over to another Instagram. We're going to When Geeks Craft. This is a fantastic page. They have a whole bunch of tutorials. They also have a YouTube channel that you can get to, but so many of the things they do struck me as awesome, and just across the board. I mean, we got some funny mistakes that were left here, but look at this amazing laser pistol from Fallout. They also do a bunch of laser cutting. They have laser cut jewelry, as well as cool D20 sculptures and whatnot. And just in general, When Geeks Craft is a fantastic Instagram as well as a fantastic YouTube channel, so you should definitely check them out. The links will be in the notes below. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of I Should Be Painting. I am going to get to laser cutting because I have a whole bunch of terrain in my mind that I want to make. As always, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell button so you never miss an update. And if you make it all the way to the end of these videos, you should join our Patreon and join our Patreon community. It'll get you access to the Discord where you can have a direct conversation with myself or Josh or any one of the other people that are part of CGN. And more importantly, it helps keep this channel funded and running. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video, and as always, we'll see you on the table.